And it's not over for the BBC after deceptively editing President Trump's January 6th speech. Here's my report on what comes next. The BBC runs into trouble with the FCC. President Trump is threatening to sue the British broadcaster for editing his speech from January 6th to mislead viewers into thinking he was calling for his supporters to storm the Capitol. The BBC has since apologized and pulled the documentary, with the broadcaster's director general and head of news resigning over this controversy. However, this week, FCC Chair Brendan Carr wrote a letter demanding to know if the documentary ever aired in the U.S. While the BBC denies that it did, Carr is interested in finding out if the misleadingly edited version of the president's speech was ever sent to NPR, PBS, or any other broadcaster regulated by his agency for use in the U.S. It's hard to believe it's been nearly 5 years since those events at the Capitol on January 6th, and yet it feels like it was several lifetimes ago. Who better to capture that mix of emotions than one of the men who lived it? Joining me now to discuss is retired Navy veteran Thomas Caldwell, author of The Mouths of the Wicked, a true January 6th story of corruption, persecution, survival, and victory. Tom, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kara, for having me. It's been about 4 years since you and I were on the air together, and a lot has happened.
It definitely. Time is escaping me. So congrats on the new book. And let's start with the title. It evokes deep biblical imagery. Why did you choose it?
Well, it was really, when you find the passage within the book, you'll see that it became very important to me. I was isolated in solitary confinement for a long time. And during that time, I felt that only Sharon and I knew what we were up against. I did manage to get a tattered copy of the New King James Bible, and I sat down on that cold concrete floor in the dungeon that was my bed and reading area, and I just let the pages fall open where they may. And where did my eyes alight first? The mouths of the wicked and the mouths of the deceitful are opened against me. They speak to me with a lying tongue, right out of Psalm 109. And I knew right then and there that the Lord was with Sharon and me.
I mean, it really says so much, right, during those Biden years that you, as a Navy veteran, a military veteran who served his country honorably, that you were treated in the way that you were. And as you alluded to a moment ago, you've appeared on OAN before and you've told your story, but for those who may be hearing it for the first time, could you perhaps recap what your story is?
Well, certainly. My story on January 6th is different from any other that anybody is going to hear. And if people have Googled me and they think they know something about my story, they don't. Because what they're reading is just stuff from the fantasy canon mouths of the prosecutors, who are just very anxious to get a lot of people locked up, convicted at trial. My wife and I went to January 6th, just as a husband and wife kind of thing, to listen to the president make his final address to the people. Your viewers should know that I never went into the Capitol. I never did any damage. I never led people in there. I never called for the overthrow of the government or any of those things. And the government knew that, yet they persecuted me anyway because they didn't care. They sent a SWAT team to our home, nearly killed my wife on our front steps, threw me in solitary confinement for just about all I could take, denied me my medicines that I need. I am a disabled veteran, unfortunately. But after that, the dirty tricks, and then a 10.5-week jury trial, all the things that happened after that, which was just as bad because we had victories in that jury trial in Washington, D.C. And we finally had a huge victory provided by the Lord, even before the pardon, the blessed pardon that came from Donald Trump later on in this very year, later in March of 2025.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.